Seeing as 90% of all purchases happen in a physical store, retail businesses can significantly benefit from having established loss prevention practices in place. Vend has integrated settings to support your store's loss prevention program. We'll review how combining Vend's features with loss prevention best practices can help you protect your inventory and prevent its loss. Loss prevention is establishing policies, procedures, and business practices to prevent the loss of inventory or money in a retail environment. Shrink or shrinkage are preventable losses. Items that are unaccounted for compared to what your inventory system indicates you should have in stock are shrink. Most store losses occur in three categories. Internal theft is employee theft and is the largest contributor to loss for most retailers. External theft is often caused by shoplifting, break-ins, and robberies. Operational errors can include store policies being disregarded and inaccurate or incomplete inventory counts. Here are some symptoms that indicate you may have a loss prevention problem. Your reported inventory levels don't match your physical inventory levels. You have an increase in returns and a suspicious number of voided sales. Your cash drawer fails to balance and has small overages and shortages. Employees are reporting shoplifting issues or concerns. Vend has multiple features and settings that will help increase your store's security. You can easily customize your cashier and manager roles so they align with your store processes, and so staff only have access to the outlets and registers they need to. You can also choose which staff roles are able to perform discounts, returns, voids, inventory counts, and much more. No matter the role they have in your store, each user in Vend should have their own user profile with a unique password. These passwords should be secure and not be shared between staff or known to anyone other than the user. In your store's general setup, you can choose to have a password required anytime users are switched. Here you can opt between never requiring a password when switching users, requiring a password when switching to a user with higher privileges, and always requiring a password when switching users. If you have staff using the same register and device, you can enable the Select User for Next Sales setting in Outlets and Registers. With this enabled, you will be prompted to select the user for the next sale at the end of each sale. When using Vend on the iPad, you can disable the feature that allows cashiers to undo the last payment made. To disable this feature, you must first log into your store as the admin and then travel to Settings. It is highly recommended that you add sales notes to all on-account, lay-by, and parked sales, as well as returns and exchanges. These sales notes should provide a brief explanation on the sales status and will flow through to sales history for future reference. Using sales history is also helpful for having quick insights into the types of sales actions your staff are performing in store. Here, you can filter your transactions by sales status, outlet, by user, date range, and more. There are key sales reports that give detailed information on user actions, inventory, and sales trends. For example, you can run a report to see how many returns have been processed by each staff member in your store. Sales reports have a variety of search options and filters and can be exported to be saved and reviewed at a later time. Good inventory management is crucial for a growing company. By having control over your store's inventory and its movement, you will reduce opportunities for shrink to occur. Performing regular inventory counts is one crucial way to manage your inventory. Many businesses do a full physical inventory once a year, as it can be tedious and lengthy. In tandem with a full physical inventory, you can also perform partial inventory counts, such as spot checks and cycle counts. If you have a lot of products in store, you may wish to spot check problematic or fast-moving items. Spot checking is simply choosing a product, counting it, and comparing the number to what it's supposed to be. This is not done on a set schedule. Rather than a full inventory count at year-end, cycle counting spreads the inventory count throughout the year. Each cycle, a different product is chosen, counted, and compared to what should be in stock. Generally, items of higher value will be counted more frequently. Vend's Inventory on Hand report is useful for both these scenarios to verify inventory totals. To perform a partial inventory count in Vend, travel to Stock Control and select Inventory Count, then New Inventory Count. Here, choose the outlet, the start date and time, and name your inventory count. Be sure to leave it as partial inventory count if performing a spot check or cycle count. Next, choose the products you wish to include in your partial count. You can add products by supplier, brands, types, tags, or SKUs. You can also combine multiple filters to narrow down your list. Now you can click Save to save your scheduled inventory count, or click Start to begin it immediately. If while performing your inventory counts you have fewer items physically counted than expected, you may have an issue with stolen or lost goods. It is important to note that by enabling the user and password security features in Vend, additional steps will be added to your sale transaction process. Here are a few tips and best practices that can help you reduce theft and shrinkage in your store. Identify high shrink items and secure and place them sensibly within your store. Require your staff to greet and make eye contact with shoppers as they enter. Use loss prevention technology that is appropriate for your business, such as video cameras or security tags. By dividing responsibilities and tasks across multiple staff, such as performing register closures, you reduce the likelihood of fraud and error occurring. Most internal theft happens at the cash register in the form of return fraud, and your store's policies should alert you to any discrepancies. Developing a loss prevention program helps reduce opportunities for shrink losses to occur and works to prevent the loss rather than react after it's occurred. Implementing these settings in Vend and proactive behaviors will help to establish and maintain a robust loss prevention program in your store.